One of the goals in my photography class is to teach you how to fix your photos in Photoshop Elements when you don't get what you want when you take the photo with your camera. And we just finished the tutorial on depth of field, and I wanted to share with you how easy it is to get a fake depth of field in Photoshop and Photoshop Elements. I do have another tutorial that I will link you up on, an older one, but since Photoshop Elements 9 has this very convenient right here photo mask icon that earlier versions didn't have, I wanted to go ahead and redo this tutorial to show you how easy this is to do. So let's say I took this photo and I really wanted the background to be blurred out. Now, nothing's better than the original straight from the camera, but we can easily blur out the background of images. And so what I'm going to do is press Ctrl J to duplicate my photo, and then on the original layer I'm going to go ahead and make this invisible just so you can see. In fact, I'm going to make an extra layer just in case I goof up and don't like what I've done. So I've got an extra one here to play with again easily. So I'm going to go ahead and blur this whole image here by going to Filter, Blur, and Gaussian Blur, and I'm going to go ahead and pull this out so I can see a little bit more how blurred it is when I'm moving this slider. Now if I click up here on this preview, you can see before where it's sharp and after where it's blurred. So I know it's kind of tiny, really tiny, but you can also look out here to get the effect out here. And if we click the preview button on and off, you can also see the before and the after out here. So there's two ways of seeing the before and the after. And actually, this is kind of a nice setting for here. I might want to blur it up just a bit more, just so you kind of almost can't tell what it is. Of course, I could go up pretty far if I wanted, but you don't want to make it so unrealistic, doing something a camera can't really do. And so I'm going to just kind of choose an area in here and click OK. And so there's absolutely no right or wrong in this. That's why I've preserved another layer in case I don't like what I've got. I can redo it. Now I'm going to take this top layer and I'm going to turn it back on, and I'm going to click on the Add Layer Mask icon. Now for those new that haven't taken other classes here at Tommy's World, I'm going to review with you that black reveals and white conceals. And so I think it's the opposite. White conceals and black reveals. If one don't work, you try the other. White reveals and black conceals. And right now the layer mask is all white, and so it is revealing all of this photo. I want to conceal some of it by to allow the layer underneath to show through. And so I can get a brush tool, and my foreground color is black, and I can just begin brushing out here. Now I do have my opacity lower from the last time I played with it. For this purpose right now I'm going to raise it all the way up because I want all of this background to show through. Now I could continue doing this. You see it's not too hard to do. Or what I can do instead is to use my selection tools. Let's go ahead and get the quick selection tool, and this time I'm going to make sure my thumbnail in this layer is active and not the mask, and I'm just going to let the quick selection tool select this part that's in the foreground that I want to keep sharp, because we're trying to allow the layer below to show through in the background so that it is blurred. I'm holding down the Alt key to refine the areas that I don't want it to include, which are the background. So you hold down the Alt key and toggle back and forth in order to make the selection. And your object may be much harder to do than this one, so this is actually a pretty easy one to do. And now that I have that all selected, I am actually going to do select and inverse the selection. Now it's got all of the background areas selected instead of the flower. Now I'm going to go to my layer mask, and I am going to then choose Edit, Fill Selection, and I want to fill it with black, and there we have it. Just that fast. You can see that it is now black in all of the background area. So there are many ways to do this in creating that masked area. Just a quick tip that's in the Fun Extras lesson: if you hold down the Control key and click on this layer mask, whoops, not the Control key, the Alt key, and click on the layer mask, you can see it right here. And so if I need to, I can go back to my brush tool and clean this up a little bit more. So if I can identify those areas that need cleaning up, like there's one right in here. Maybe you know, my thing is not that bumpy. Here's one stray sticking out. So you can go in here and clean this up a little bit if you want. Then I can hold down my Alt key and click on the layer mask again and go back again. But you can see it's not very good right in here, so if I want, I can go back and forth. I'm not going to take a whole lot of time to do this. You can go back and forth with my brush and, you know, make this selection even better. And, you know, right here I got in on the flower, so I would go back to the white and bring that back in. Then I go back to the black. That's what I meant by back and forth. Go back and forth between white and black, fixing it as you need to. And you know what? I said I'm not going to finish this, but I need an example to post in the forum thread for this lesson. So I am probably going to go ahead and finish this as little as I really wanted to do. But you can see how natural that looks, like there's depth of field in the trees in the background. So this is quick and easy to do using the layer masks, but as everybody knows, making selections is not quick and easy. here we go around the flower. And there are other techniques to, you'll find them in course 2 and the designer course, to make these selections even better. Oh, what did I do? I'm on the wrong one. Than what they are. So but I'm not going to take the time to do all of those. You can go back to that lesson and review it if you need to. Boy, that's really tight in there. In this case, see, I would get my lasso tool and I would fill that area in. I'd make sure I was on the right one, and I would hit Alt backspace, which fills that in like with the paint bucket. Control D to deselect. That's what I would do to fix that area in there. Oops, wrong way. See, that's what I meant. If one's wrong, just switch to the other. Ah! What am I doing? There we go. So I've cleaned that up. So now you can see we have a before. Whoops. There's the before. And here's the after, where it's all got a nice blown out depth of field in the background. So there we go. I want to see your fake depth of field. Go on out there, get yourself a nice sharp photo and say, hey, I'm going to pretend that I meant this to be a depth of field and give yourself a depth of field. Here, if I wanted to, remember, I'm going to duplicate this again. If I wanted to, I could go in here to the Gaussian blur and bump that up a little bit and click OK and compare the differences. Do I want it that blown out, or do I want it this blown out? And choose for yourself what you want. Either one is okay, except for I see if you blow it out some more, you can easily see more areas where you've goofed on your selection. And so I will continue to clean this up, and personally that's a little too blown out for me. I'm going to do this again, Control J, and I'm going to try to go maybe somewhere right in between. As I said, there's no right or wrong. I kind of like about, let's try that. So that looks more natural than anything. I might just stick with that one. So there you go. I look forward to seeing yours.